Okay, and another example of a coordinate proof. This one says the segments created by joining the midpoints of the sides of a kite connect to form a rectangle. So when we talked about how to place a kite on the coordinate grid, there are two ways that we could have done this. The easiest way is to take advantage of the origin, such that the origin is where the diagonals bisect or diagonals meet. Remember, the diagonals of a kite intersect at right angles. They're perpendicular to each other. So, and then we remember that one of the sides, the one that we call the base diagonal, is going to be the same. It's bisected by the other diagonal. So the point on one side of the diagonal is the same distance as the point on the other. And so these are going to be the 2 points, 2a and negative 2a. And then we're going to have a point up here. The distance from the origin to that point, we don't know. And so it's just going to be 0, 2b. And then we're going to have a point down here. We also don't know it. It is not, so we're going to call it 0, 2c. It is not the same distance from the origin as the point above. And so here's our kite. There's other ways to do it as well. If you think that you have another way that you like better, feel free to reach out and we can talk about whether that's a good way to do it. So now it says the segments created by joining the midpoints of the sides of a kite form a rectangle or connect to form a rectangle. Well, we need to start by finding the midpoints of the sides of the kite. So we say the midpoints of the sides of A, B, C, D are, and then you go through and you calculate each of those. I'm going to call those E, F, G, H. So we need to find those those first. And so the midpoint of AB is going to be point E, and it's going to be 0 plus 2A over 2, and 2B plus 0 over 2. And so that just equals A comma B. That's what E is. The midpoint of BC, that one is, I made it as H. And so it's going to be 2A plus 0 over 2, and then 0 plus 2C over 2. And that's going to be A comma C. And the midpoint of CD is going to equal G. And it's going to be negative 2A plus 0 over 2 and 0 plus 2C over 2. And that is going to be negative A comma C. And then finally, the midpoint of AD is going to be F, which is negative 2A plus 0 over 2 and 0 plus 2B over 2. And that is going to equal negative A comma B. And so these are the points that are the midpoints of the sides of the kite. We want to show that it's a rectangle. Well, remember, to show something's a rectangle, all we need to do is show that the sides meet at right angles. So we just need to go through and find the slopes of the sides, because that's the easiest way to show that they meet at right angles. So we say the slopes of the sides of E, F, G, H are, and so we'll start with EH. The slope of EH is going to equal, and so B minus C over A minus A, right? Which that equals undefined, which it turns out that is a vertical line. And then we say the slope of HG is going to equal 2C, or no, HG is what we're looking at. And so it's going to be C minus C over A minus a negative A. And so that's going to equal 0. And then the slope of GF is going to be C minus B over negative A minus a negative A, which turns out again to be undefined because our denominator is 0 in this one. And then finally, we're going to say the slope of FE, and the slope of FE is going to be B minus B over A minus a negative A, which is 0 over 2, or just 0. Well, we know that this is a rectangle because undefined represents a vertical line, 0 represents a horizontal line, and vertical lines and horizontal lines are perpendicular. So we need to describe that. This is going to take a little bit longer narrative than normal, but we're going to say because, no, we could, a better way to say it would be EH and GF have undefined slopes, which means they are vertical lines. HG and FE have slope of 0, which means they are horizontal. Thus, since horizontal lines are perpendicular to vertical lines, then the sides of E, F, G, H meet at right angles, showing it is a rectangle. And so we were able to show that when you connect the midpoints of the sides of a kite, we end up with rectangles, a rectangle.